Guys, if you like this review and you want to see more car, bike, and mod videos, then please subscribe, hit the bell, and keep it locked in to Rated R Cars. The Ducati 1260S is a perfect motorcycle in every way, except for the stock exhaust, which sounds more like a two-wheel Prius than the fiery inferno on two wheels that this motorcycle actually is. If you do like quiet exhaust, no worries, this bike is still a beast like no other. But if you want to unchain this bike, to unlock its true potential, to release the screaming phoenix within that is just burning to be set free, then you go out right now, you dip into that savings, or you use a credit card like me. Don't worry, there's no need to tell your wife. Don't ask, don't tell. Am I right, fellas? I don't care what you have to do. You go out and you buy that full Termignoni race exhaust. I don't care if you have to sell a damn lung. Lungs are so overrated anyway. Who needs two? Just kidding. Do not sell your lung. Rated R Cars definitely does not endorse selling lungs to buy exhaust when a kidney would clearly be a better choice to sell.
Pikachu?
The Termignoni full racing exhaust is Italian craftsmanship at its finest. It comes with easily removable dB killers, a greatly improved aesthetic over stock, substantial weight reduction, and 10% increase in horsepower and torque. It comes with a tune and it will not void your warranty. Cost is just over $3,000 US. We're about to get into a very robust sound test, but this is a full review, so listen up. There are 4 main benefits to the Termignoni exhaust. 1. With a 0 to 60 time of just 2.5 seconds, the Ducati Diavel is one of the fastest production bikes in the world. With the addition of this exhaust, you get 10% extra horsepower and 10% extra torque, effectively making this bike about 180 horsepower and 105 pound-feet of torque, which, if my calculations are correct, the Termignoni exhaust makes the Ducati 1260 the fastest accelerating production motorcycle in the world. And yes, by putting on the exhaust, we are just taking away the built-in nannies, so it still is a production motorcycle. 10% more power and torque. 2. You have a significant weight savings of 13.2 pounds or 6 kilograms, and that's awesome. Weight savings. 3. Looks. Some guys refer to their bikes as she. Not this bike. The Termignoni race exhaust not only gives your bike a metaphorical ball sack, it gives your bike a literal ball sack.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can say this bike literally has balls. Thanks, Termignoni. And just for your information, my friend said that this is pronounced Termignoni. Okay, you heard it here first. Or maybe last, whatever. In talking about looks, the split side exhaust with perforated tips, I am choked up trying to articulate the beauty that these masterpieces are in person. I told myself I wouldn't cry. They're gorgeous. Here's a before and after. Now the dB killers end up actually killing more than just the dBs, and they kill the look of the exhaust. But I'm working on a solution for that, so stay tuned. And finally, the sound. What you're about to hear in the sound test, don't get me wrong, it is glorious. I painstakingly recorded every exhaust note for the Rated R Cars family. But in person, there is a percussion the likes of which you have never imagined. If Renaissance artists could paint sound, this exhaust would be the Mona Lisa. Alright, we're going to do this sound test with the dB killers out, but I am going to do a video comparison with the dB killers in versus the dB killers out, so stay tuned. Please watch this full video to get my owner's perspective and advice towards the end of the video. Alright, you want to hear? Come on. So as you can see, there's quite a difference between the stock and the Termignoni exhaust. Look at the rev up, 11.6 decibels louder than stock. Idle, 5 decibels louder than stock. But don't forget, it's not only louder, but the sound is infinitely improved. Termignoni didn't just turn up the volume knob. They were like, why don't we spin the volume knob like a pizza? This exhaust is, for lack of a better term, tastefully loud. People are going to hear you. It's not obnoxious like some bikes that are pointlessly loud. It's loud with a purpose. It makes this bike sound like an Apex Predator on 2 wheels, which it is. And it's that unique Ducati exhaust note that you can definitely tell is a Ducati from down the road. I will say that as I was riding the other day in my neighborhood with the DB killers out, one of my nefarious neighbors had yelled at the top of his lungs something like, "Too loud," or something like that. To which I kindly replied with a rev or 2 or 5. Although I do love the sound without the DB killers in, I don't want to be that guy who scares the elderly or wakes up babies as I ride by, so I'm going to put the DB killers back in and uglify my exhaust tips. But again, I have a plan to rectify it, so stay tuned. So do I recommend this exhaust? Let's just say it should be mandatory. It's beautiful, it's loud, it's commanding. People respect this exhaust. Of course I recommend it. And if you're part of the louder is safer crowd, that's fine. Just take out the DB killers and you'll be heard. Although with the Ducati Diavel, you're going to be flying by before the sound barrier catches up anyway. And it still sounds awesome with the DB killers in, as you're about to find out from my next video. Alright family, stay tuned. I have a huge pipeline of... I said I have a huge pipeline. What do you mean that's not what she said? Alright guys, stay tuned for a ton of content for the Ducati, the Moto Guzzi, the GT350, and God willing, beyond. Until then, always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm just kidding, it's a green screen.